All right, everyone, welcome back into another Prize Picks video. Going to be into the top props here for Taco Tuesday. So we're going to start out with just looking at the best MLB-based props that we have out there on the day. And as we can see, we don't have any that are going to be good EV bets. Remember, good EV bets are going to be ones that we are looking for that are going to be over 54% chance to hit. We have a bunch that have about a 53% chance to hit, which if push comes to shove, I'd be fine using these ones, especially Bryce Harper, where his hits, runs, RBIs line is set at 1.5, and we can see the projection data has him set to get 2.02, so about 0.5 higher. Okay, minus 130, pretty good odds there for that one. So if push comes to shove, if the first taco comes out and we don't have any better props, I'd be fine going with that one. But really, that's kind of going to be it for the MLB based props. We will see that we are not getting any good over bets or under bets or anything like that. In terms of no vig based props, I'd be fine, I guess, with running out some of these. The issue that I have with runs scored or total bases is that it's going to be a big prop line difference, just given the fact that the typical line is set at 0.5. And so if a Vegas line comes out having at 1, but they're favoring the under like they are with all these, then it's not really all too good of a prop. But once again, if push comes to shove, we could run out some of these. We see Nathaniel Lowe, where he's projected at 1.21, so not a terrible one in that regard. Another decent one, Lindor. Those are all ones we could potentially run out. But let's go ahead and get back into the bread and butter, the hitting fantasy score. And so it was weird. Last week, midweek, these randomly just were not hitting. Like, we had so many good ones that I noticed on the cheat sheet throughout the week, and they just randomly weren't hitting. And then this weekend came, and it was back. And it was back in a big way. I had one of my best weekends in quite a while. It's also going to be due to adding this discrepancies report that I'll get into in just a second. That's esports and everything else. But it was encouraging. I was like, what's going on? Do I need to double check this stuff at all? Figure out what's going on? No. Just turned out to be a random variance thing that was going on. So we can see Lindor, Pete Alonso, and Christian Yelich. I want to take a deeper dive into these ones because someone like Christian Yelich does worry me given the fact that he's been going off lately. So yes, the last two slates, Christian Yelich has actually been popping up as a good prop bet, and he's kind of crushed it. So the worry to me is the fact that he has gone over almost double it now, 2 straight games. So that's a little bit of a worry to me, but at the same time, it's not like he's been going too crazy over the last 5 games. So, you talk about coming in off of a hot streak or coming in off of a cold streak. I don't really care all too much about the 5-game sample. I kind of like seeing this. I don't like seeing 5 straight days of hitting. I don't like to see 5 straight days of missing. I like to see kind of the spikes in it, because that tells us when the data likes it that it should be a more accurate representation of the data. And so the next thing that we have, it's kind of going to be more of the same, I guess, echoing what I just said about Christian Yelich, where Lindor over the last 2 games has crushed it. I mean, 25 and 21 points. Like, that does worry me a little bit. I mean, he is literally like 3x this number, 2 straight games. That's a big worry to me. But then again, not too hot, I guess that makes sense, to the point where you could expect him to still get 7.5 or I guess 8 fantasy points. And he was one of those guys that was popping up as a decent prop bet elsewhere as well. So I think I'd be comfortable betting the over fantasy score here. So not a terrible one with Lindor. I do just want to point out here that yes, the under is favored, but the under is going to be favored at 10.5. Okay, so not a terrible number there. Then the last one that we got is going to be Pete Alonso. Remember, what I'm shooting for is going to be where the Vegas line and the projection data is going to be over the PrizePicks line by at least 2. That's where, we see a strong likelihood in the prop bet sitting. Once again, with Pete Alonso, this one is favored to the under is favored at minus 160, but that's at 10.5 for the Vegas line. PrizePicks line is set at 8. And the nice thing about Pete Alonso here is that there is a little bit of correlation between him and Lindor going off. So that is not a terrible bet. If you are betting one of them, you could also bet the other. One gets an RBI, another one scores. It kind of correlates together. And then just looking at the pitching fantasy score props, I was really hoping that we would get a New York pitching prop. We don't have that just yet, just because I think, we could stack that then as well. But looking at it right now, we got Spencer Strider for over fantasy score. The issue is that he's only projected at 39.9. That's telling me that the projection data doesn't think he's going to be able to get a win or a quality start. The Vegas line is suggesting that he's going to get both, and they kind of like it more for the over as well. So Strider is definitely an interesting one in that regard. If you're looking for maybe an under bet, you could go with Justin Steele, where Vegas thinks he's going to struggle, not going to win, or a quality start, and the projection data is also kind of saying that as well. Let's see here. Zach Eflin, we could potentially go with, where the Vegas line isn't that much lower. That's not a terrible one there as well. But we see that we do have 3 good hitting fantasy score props. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go into the discrepancy report or the PrizePicks prop here and see if we could get any other good prop bets from any other sports. But I do just want to call a promo that is going on the website currently. You get 50% off the 9 to 5 membership. So it is a $10 membership. So you can get the membership then for just $5 a month. And that's going to be for new members. That's going to be for the first month. This is going to be active up until the Tour Championship for golf. Okay. The playoffs are right around the corner. There are 3 events left total on the season. 1 regular season event and then 2 playoff events. So you got time to take advantage of that. And I want to call it out because we also do have preseason NFL DFS right around the corner, which is the biggest edge that's available in fantasy sports. And I'll be covering that as well for you guys. So yeah, take advantage of that. It's a great deal out there right now. Let's get into the WNBA props. Guys, we're not getting that many good ones. I mean, we got Tesori for under points. We can see the projection data has set at 20 though, which does worry me a little bit. Typically speaking, the WNBA projection data is a little bit more aggressive. And what I mean by that is they typically are favoring the overs a little bit more. So that's needless to say, I guess if this was projected to get under, I would feel very comfortable betting the under here. But because the projection data is also suggesting that the over is maybe the way to go, maybe one that we stay away from. Once again, if push comes to shove, by the time the first taco is out, we might have to just make that prop bet because, you know, it's a good EV based bet that we are getting. I want to get into the discrepancies here as well. So this was typically this was the last video that I put out. This was esports props. Okay. It's not that anymore because it's going to be discrepant. And what I mean by that is where are we getting the biggest discrepancies out there? And I want to call it one here. From yesterday. So this was taken right from my Discord here. I posted that in there. Guys, we have a pretty active Discord in there. And just as an FYI, it is small enough to the point where there's not fluff in there. You can actually get actionable information out of it. I haven't been in there too much just because a lot of you guys know this. I had the birth of my first child a couple weeks ago or a week ago now. Just not that much free time on my hand to be in there, but a lot of the site members are in there talking, very much engaged. Kind of take advantage of that. They've been killing it over there. I've noticed, but I posted this in there. This was a big prop line difference that we got for FIFA, 4 shots attempted. This is a big prop line difference. We can see that 62% either way. Okay. I know Daily Grind is a fantasy company out there. They call this kind of middling where you kind of just bet both ways. But that's kind of what we want to do here today. We can see we got 2 prop bets here where we got a 55, basically a 5% difference is the best way to look at it. Okay. So what we could do here is bet the over saves for Durante here and then shots attempted. We could bet the over there. Or sorry, we're betting the unders on these 2. Apologies for that. We are betting the unders for these 2 on PrizePicks. And a way that you could hedge that, and this is really up for you guys, you got to decide if you want to do this or not. You could also then bet the exact opposite on Underdog. And so for example purposes, these were a couple of the ones that I had out there yesterday. And I did place these on Underdog, so I had a losing day on Underdog, but overall a profitable day as a whole, just kind of betting on these 2. And so just looking at these a little bit deeper here, now I'm fine with these 2. And then I do just want to call it something else for tennis here. If you see total games and you guys are someone that's using that, you're someone that is taking advantage of this promo code that is out there, once again, do that. $5 for access to this cheat sheet. Great value out there. The total games on Underdog is going to be combining the wins and losses, okay? Whereas the total games on PrizePicks is going to be at the actual just total games. And so you can't really use this on Underdog in that just because it's not going to be that accurate, but you could then just see where you're getting the biggest prop line difference. 3 total games in tennis is kind of a lot. So you could bet the over for Ben Shelton if you want to. Like, that's not a terrible prop bet there as well. Yes, we see that about 53% chance there. That's a bigger difference on a sport like tennis. And just while we're at it, let's see where we are getting the biggest prop line differences. And it is going to be in tennis there. Okay, we got one with CSGO, map 1 and 2 kills, 1.5 difference. That's not too much, but not terrible as well. All right, so here's what I'd be looking at for kind of the bet of the day. These are my 5 favorite prop bets available on the day. We get 3 really good hitting fantasy score props. Hopefully those are still there. They haven't been bumping those as much as they were kind of 2 weeks ago. We will see. Obviously the board is going to be updating throughout the day. We can see if we are going to get some better prop bets throughout the day. And then just looking at it, we got 2 decent soccer ones. Maybe we get some better ones throughout the day. And just as an FYI, typically speaking, those ones that are available on the discrepancies page, it's kind of like there's times like 1 p.m., like 7 p.m., 10 p.m. where the board kind of refreshes on both sites and we can see if we get a big edge. Right now, I'm recording this at around 9:30 to 10 Central Standard Time. The board isn't perfect yet for those. But that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Make sure to give a like and subscribe. That does help out the channel a ton. I'm gonna be trying to get back on a regular schedule here, maybe sometime this week. We'll see. Fingers are crossed. I am excited for NFL DFS, so if you aren't subscribed yet, please subscribe, because that's gonna be a big edge. It's the biggest edge there is in DFS. So make sure to take advantage of that. I hope we're getting some good props for that as well. We will see. That's gonna be all. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the coverage. Make sure to give a like and subscribe. Let's have a good slate, and as always, let's keep cashing.